Hello friends, it's Kylie here with you all. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing some creating for you all today. My inbox has been full these past 2 weeks. You're all wanting me to create with the brand new Copper Canyon 2 collection from Creative Memories. So judging by the amount of emails I've had, I'm guessing that you really love this collection and can't say I blame you. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. I love the color palette. There's some really big, large titles. You all know how much I love a large title. Lots of cute icons and patterns within this collection. Our little die cut embellishments also have some copper foiling. I think my camera's picking that up there. You can see. Really beautiful collection. So I have on my desk here the Copper Canyon collection. I've got some little photos here that I've printed that I'm going to scrap today, and I thought best place for me to start for inspiration is I've gone back through the archives of my own sketch designs and I've just randomly picked one out. This sketch was from my December 2024 sketchbook download, and I originally used the Sun-Soaked collection for my sample page, but I just thought, you know what, this was a really simple sketch and lots of lovely layering of different sized papers, so I actually think this is going to look really nice in this Copper Canyon 2 collection. So that is what I'm going to be working with today. I will link this sketchbook below this video. So if you're looking for this one, if you don't have this download, I will link it below this video so you can find it too. But many of you, I know a lot of you have a hard time visualizing sketches with a particular collection. And I do, as you know, I do give a sample page for each sketch, but when it's made in a different collection, it is really hard to visualize sometimes in a different collection. But as I always say, these sketches aren't exclusive. You can use any collection you like with these sketch designs. So don't just think that because I've used, you know, one particular collection for the sample layout, it doesn't mean you have to use that collection. So, and that's what I'm doing today once more. So I'll actually fold that out of the way, and I've got all my measurements here. Now I've already prepared my base page off camera. The first measurement on my sketch that I gave was 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches, which is this top piece of paper. Because there's a few layers that are going to be added to this design, if you want to conserve your paper supply, then I highly recommend you remove the center of that base piece of paper first, and you can use that for another project or perhaps to mat your photos, and it'll just help you save on your paper supply. The next piece of paper that I'm going to layer is 9.75 by 9.75. And again, if you really wanted to, you could even, you know, gut a small section of this top piece of paper, just once again to conserve your supply. Now, once you're happy with where you've got that positioned, you can stick that down into place. And you want to just make sure that you've got an even space around all 4 sides of that square. So the next piece I'm going to add to my layout will be this vertical tag that we've got here on the left, and the measurement I've given for that is 3 inches by 11.25. I think I'm going to work with this chocolate brown designer paper. So I'll just bring back in my trimmer, and we're going to cut that down to a 3-inch width. And then 11.25 for the length of it. just removing that little bit. And then we need to cut our little fishtail banner, or our ribbon banner if you like. So I'm going to line that back up at 1.5 inches, because that way I know it's in the center. And I'm going to bring our blade down probably about 1 inch or thereabouts. So we've made that little cut in the middle. And then just using my scissors, which I had here a second ago, here we are. Just using my scissors, I'm going to cut from each corner up to where I've stopped with that little incision, and that's going to give us a nice little tag. Like so. So nice and easy. I'll bring back in that base page once more. And everybody creates sketches differently. You may want to cut all of your pieces first and then assemble your layout. It's completely up to you. But this piece will be stuck down here on the left side. I'm liking that. And we've got another piece laid over that that measures 10.25 by 6. So again, I'm going to use a different coloured designer paper. I think I'm going to go with this lighter toned. So we need 10.25 by 6. So there we have 6 inches. And then we're at 10.25. And you can save all these little offcut pieces for another project. So that one sits flush against the right side edge of the page. And we've got our tag laid in underneath. Okay, and we've got one final little piece that we need to add in, and it's another tag here beneath our photos, and it's from a 6-inch by 6-inch square of paper. Now, if you gutted that base paper to begin with to conserve your paper supply, then you're going to have a little offcut of paper, and then perhaps maybe you'd like to use that for this piece. You don't have to, but it's just a suggestion. I think I will. So we need to cut this down to 6 inches by 6 inches. So this way nothing's going to waste. And we're also going to cut a tag into this piece. So I'm just going to line that up at the 3-inch width, since that will be halfway on our square. And just the same thing as I did for that longer tag, I'm just going to cut it. Might go a little bit more than 1 inch, maybe about 1.25 inches. You can see there, I've just made a little incision. And I'm just going to eyeball this. You can, use a ruler if you prefer and rule a straight line, but I'm just going to very carefully cut to the top of that incision from each corner to create our tag. Okay, so that's our final piece that we need to cut for our layout. So it's just a matter of positioning those where you want them, and then you can get them stuck down into place. So I'm pretty happy with all of that and the papers that I've selected. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to these and get them stuck down. And then we can look at getting our photos into place. So this piece is right up against the side of that top paper. And I actually think I'm going to move. This is the beauty of using repositional tape. I think I need to move my tag over just a little bit. That'll be better. Yeah, that's better. Can add our piece there. And then our final little tag. Can go laid over the base. Okay, so we can now mat and stick our photos into place. I have two 6x4 photos. They're horizontal orientation. You might have, you know, a vertical orientated photo set that you want to use, and that will still work for you. It's just a matter of rotating it on your sketch, or perhaps you're even going to rotate the sketch and, you know, add your photos this way. It could go that way, or if you wanted to, you could add your photos this way. This is the beautiful thing with sketches. You can definitely make them your own. I'm sticking to the original plan though, and I'm going to add those horizontally to the side. So it's just a matter now of me selecting what I want to use for my photo mat. I do have some caramel cardstock here, although I just don't think that's going to pop enough on my layout. So I also have some of the Island Waters Molten Lava foiled paper. Now this was part of a recent promotion and I seriously love it. You can see the shimmer that this has and what it's going to add to your layout. And I know we're only going to see that tiny little bit around the frame of our photo, but I still think that's going to be a nice little addition to this layout. I'm going to trim down these photos a little bit, but I'll cut two photo mats to be 6x4. So let's see if we can get both photo mats. I don't think we'll be able to. So we've got 6x4. And then I'm going to have to just cut another piece. Just open out that bag a little. Don't want to crumple any of these beautiful papers. And I'll need my larger trimmer for this. I need 4. And 6. So that will have our 2 photo mats. And I'm going to cut them down, let's say 5.75 by 3.75. And then we can add those to our mats. So that's just that tiny little bit that I've removed. And that's going to look really nice in behind those photos. Okay, so just a little bit of adhesive. And like I said, even though we're only seeing a small amount of that shimmer, it's still going to give our layout a really nice effect. Okay, so photos are matted. We can stick these onto our layout like so. When you're happy with the position, get them into place. You can see how quickly, once we've got all our pieces cut, just how quickly this has come together following that sketch. Okay, so now we can add some embellishments to our layout. I have to just say, one of my most favourite products from Creative Memories would have to be the Floral Essential Embellishments. These come in a variety of different coloured packs. I'm working with the teal toned pack today. You also get these really fun little enamel adhesive dots that you can add to the middle of your flowers, but this is a perfect shade to coordinate with the Copper Canyon 2 collection, and you all know how much I love my flowers. So I've just pulled a heap here out of my little supply. I thought we could layer some of these foiled embellishments with these flower embellishments, like so. And of course we want our large title, so let's have a look what we've got here. I could use, don't mind even this little card here. And we could add perhaps the Capturing Life sticker over the top of that. Yeah, I'm feeling that. So I might bring in some of my foam squares that we'll be able to add to the back of that sticker to raise that up off that little card. And we can stick that into place. So I'll just peel the back off those foil squares. Try and get that centered as best I can. So what I'll do, I actually think I'm going to layer this top flower with another foam square, like so. And we might just center that. I've got a little circular sticky here. I'll just center that flower with that sticker. And then I can add one of the little enamel dots to the center, like so. It's just a nice little way to layer those embellishments. Might do the same with this one, just add a little foam square to the back of it. And it's just adding dimension to these layers that you're putting together. And we'll go another enamel dot in the center for that one. Okay, so we can stick this title into place. Next to our photos there. We might add another leaf. Just tucking in the base there, just for balance. There we go. And I'll add another sticker to the middle. We might pop that out to the side here with our little moments tag. And I think I'm going to add, oh, it's stuck on my photo. Then we're going to add this tag with some foam squares as well. So we'll just add those to the back there, like so. And then that can tuck just to the top of that photo there. So I've got a lot of space on that photo, so I don't mind, you know, adding that little bit there. And I think I'm just going to add another smaller little flower and camera down here, just below the snapshots, because I always like to add my embellishments in groups of 3. I think that adds a really nice balance to a layout. So let's add this with foam squares as well. And you could probably, you know, if you didn't want to have as large a title as what I've used here, you could probably add a smaller 3x4 photo to the side there, or 3x3, 3.5 by 3.5. So it does, you've got lots of options there. Just going to layer a little camera. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how I've embellished that layout. I'm just going to add a little bit of detail now. This is purely just decorative. I've got my white jelly roll pen here, which I love, by the way. And on my chocolate brown tag, I'm just going to add some detailed little border lines around the outside edge so that it looks like it's been stitched. And it's just going to add that little bit of extra interest onto your background. I think I want to add some little pieces here from the rub-ons. Let's have a little look. I just want them to be really just, you know, in the background. So I'm thinking one of these pieces here. What I like to do is I actually like to cut out the piece that I want to work with and separate that. Like so. You're going to need your multi-purpose tool, and once you've cut out your piece, you just peel away that backing paper like so. And just very carefully, I'm actually going to slide it up under this little tag that we added. So that it's just poking out underneath. And you just want to rub with your multi-purpose tool. Fairly firm pressure. And then it's just a matter of, like magic, you peel that away and you can see the effect that it gives, you know, to your layout. Now I'm going to start going crazy because I just love these. I might add one of these little splash marks here. It's just the same thing. I'm just going to peel away that backing paper and place the design where you would like it, and use your tool to just rub that all over. And if you just carefully peel that back when you finish rubbing it to make sure that you've got all of that foiling into place. These are excellent quality too, by the way. I've used a lot of rub-on embellishments, and yeah, these are fantastic quality. We've got these little circular designs. I think I'm going to add one to the top here. So I'm just going to cut that one in half, and that way I can use the second half on another project. this is going to tuck just into the top there, like so. Oh, it moved a little bit, that's okay. Rub that onto the spot where you want it. And I'll just carefully peel back to make sure I've got it all into place. Perfect. He's looking a little lonely up there, so I've just got the second half of that. This is what happens, see, I start and I can't stop. Let's layer that second half as well. Okay, that's better. And then I just want something from down the side here, so let's add this textured piece here. And which way will I want it? That way or that way? Let's go this way. That completes my layout for today. You can see how quickly that came together using my sketch. And if I bring that up to the camera, you can just see the beautiful shimmer that those foiled rub-on embellishments have given the layout, as well as that molten lava designer paper there in behind my photos. It's just gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had fun watching me create this layout and you give it a try for yourselves. But for now, take care and I will see you again very soon. Bye.